Hey class, we're going to continue with our lesson on vocabulary using the vocabulary that we have pulled from our novel Because of Winn-Dixie. And I want to remind you that you've already actually looked up the words, so you know the definition of the words, but we're going to be using context clues and kind of defining what a context clue actually is. So let me take us over to our assignment. And first off, I want to make sure that you understand that we do have the definitions list. You may need this, so I've included it in the assignment packet. So you have that. Our words are mood, comfort, consisted, peculiar, intends, talent, advanced, properly, mention, and positive. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at other ways that we can find the definition of words besides actually opening up a dictionary, and that is context clues. And we've talked about them before, usually when we're kind of just reading through and trying to figure out what words mean as we read. And there are different ways we can do that. And we can use the word compassionate because that was one of the words that we did have the difficulty with. So there are 5 different types of context clues that I want to talk about today, and those are using logic, examples, antonyms, definitions, and synonyms. Logic is basically just using the other words around it to kind of inform you of what that word is. So I know Miss Hart will want to help with the food drive. She is very compassionate. Well, because of this one thing, of her compassion, she's compassionate. She will want to work with the food drive. It's just logical. Um, Examples means that the words around it are including an example of what compassionate might be. So Miss Hart is a compassionate person and volunteers at the food bank. Volunteers at the food bank is the example. Antonyms is using an opposite word or words in order to define what the word is. So Miss Hart is compassionate, but her sister is uncaring. The opposite word is uncaring. So the opposite of uncaring would be caring. Excuse me. We can also use definitions, but not like in the dictionary sense of the word definitions, but when in the context or in the course of the text, it's giving you what the meaning of the word is. So it explains the word. You can tell Miss Hart is compassionate by the way she treats everyone kindly. So there is a definition there. The way she treats everyone kindly means that she is compassionate. And then there are synonyms where you're using a similar word. Miss Hart is compassionate and is caring. Caring being, of course, the opposite of uncaring, and meaning that she is compassionate. And I want you to note that these are letters all begin with these words all begin with a letter that, when put together, would be an acronym or a mnemonic to help us remember what those words are: logic, examples, antonyms, definitions, and synonyms. When you have the first word, it makes leads because these words lead you to the definition. Okay, everybody with me so far? You good? Okay, yeah, we went kind of fast. But let us use an example of how we can use these um, uh, context clues to actually connect our words to our sentences. So the first sentence is, and this is a practice of what our assignment is going to look like. Our practice is, the sentence is, my dad was having trouble figuring out the amount of wood he needed for his project, so he drew a what to help him figure it out. Did he draw a sum? Did he draw a picture? Or did he draw an estimate? That's right, he drew a picture. So we just drag and drop that word right there. The next one is, when we add numbers together, the answer we come up with is called the what. What is it when we add numbers together? It's a sum. Yeah, an estimate is when you don't have the exact numbers, but you're kind of guessing. The sum is actually when you add the numbers together. That's right. Good job. And then we weren't sure how much our trip would cost, so we had to estimate the amount to the best of our ability. So it's not a hard number. We're coming up with kind of like a guess based on the information we have. That's an estimate. And so we put that next to that sentence because that's the word that makes the most sense to that sentence. Okay, so there's our practice. And here is the assignment on the very last page of your packet. And you have your word bank here. These are the ones that you've already found out your definitions to, and these are the sentences that you're going to hook them up with. Okay, your first task is to hook all of these words up to a sentence that makes the most sense. So the first sentence is, when the bear sniffed Miss Franny, he was trying to decide whether he was in the blank to eat her or not. Now, which of these words do you suppose is going to make the most sense with that sentence? Right, mood. He was trying to decide if he was in the mood. Now, the second part of this task is it's bonus. I just want to see if you understand, if you can apply our learning of the 5 types of context clues and figure out what type it is. So, like this one right here, when the bear sniffed Miss Franny, he was trying to decide whether he was in the blank to eat her or not, or in the mood to eat her or not. Now we can kind of narrow it down by maybe process of elimination, because we know there are no synonyms, there's no like words in there, there's no antonyms, there are no opposite words. There really isn't a definition. It's just kind of using the words to kind of figure out what that one word is, and there aren't any examples. So that would lead us to believe that it is logic. So if you can figure that out, then, or even take your best guess, you highlight your word here, you go to your fill tool, and you highlight that and make it red because it's logic. And again, this part right here, it's not worth points, but it is going to tell me whether or not you've actually understood the lesson. And that's really important. All right, any questions about any of this so far? All right, so if you go ahead and open up your Google Classroom, you will find this assignment in there in a packet with everything that we've already gone over. You can use your definitions if you need to and turn it in tomorrow. Thank you so much.